Hello, this is Marian from Language Studio Euphema, and today we are going to take a look at prepositions of time. They are kind of a bugbear for many English students because they are not easily translatable, and that's why they are pretty hard to learn. So let's get the party started, shall we? So you will learn today how we use prepositions of time in English. We will compare them with how prepositions are used in the Slovak language as well, and we'll talk about some of the similarities and differences as well as practical speaking activities. So what are prepositions? I think everybody knows that prepositions are those small words that come before a noun or pronoun, and they specify time and place, position and direction. So, for example, from, on, off, into, out, in, at, up, or of are prepositions. So, in the expression in the park, in is a preposition. So, the first we are going to talk about in, and we are going to talk about similarities between the English language and the Slovak language. And this is good news because we use in English and Slovak in a very, very similar manner. In English as well as in Slovak, it is used with years, with seasons, and with centuries. So, for example, you would say in 2002, or you'd say in the summer, in the winter, in the spring, and what's the other one? In the fall, or in the autumn, if you wish. And century, as I said, so in the 19th century. So as you can see here, in Slovak it is v, in English it's in with years. In Slovak is v, and in English is in with seasons. And when we have century, for example, the 19th century, so we use in English, and in Slovak we use v. So it is the same thing. Years, seasons, and centuries is always in. And also there are differences, of course, and one of the big difference between Slovak and English is that you need to remember is that in English you need to use in with parts of a day. So we say in the morning, then we say in the evening, and we say in the afternoon. And that's pretty much it. In Slovak language, as you can see, we use nothing here. In the English language, however, we have to use in these three cases. Okay, now let's talk about on. And first, let's talk about similarities between English and Slovak here. So many students of English translate on as na, and it can be both useful and useless. We can translate on as na in Slovak when we talk about special days and festivals. And days is very, very important here. So, for example, we say on Valentine's Day. Yeah, on, na. Should be capital V maybe here. On New Year's Day. On, na. On New Year's Eve. Yes, on New Year's Eve. This is the same. And the last one, on St. Nicholas Day. Yeah. So as you can see, all these are days, and that's the next rule I'm going to introduce here. In English, you don't use on only for special days. You use it for all days and dates. You can remember this acronym, this ODD, on days and dates. Yeah, so you use on for days and dates. I don't know if it's going to help you. I just made it up. So we say, for example, on Monday or on Tuesday, on Wednesday, all days of the week, we use on with. So on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Saturday, on Sunday, it's always on. Also, I would like to say that in English, days of weeks are capitalized. You can see it's big T or big M here. In Slovak, that's not the case, of course. Now, we have dates here, and we use on with them as well. So, for example, on the 15th of July. In the Slovak language, we don't use anything here because we have cases. We have nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and because of that, we don't have to use any preposition here. In English, there are no cases, so in English, we have to use this preposition here. So with dates is always on, like on the 1st of January. Sometimes it so happens that you want to combine day and a part of the day, like v pondelok, like v pondelok ráno. So you also use on in such case, because day is first, day is before morning. So for example, you'd say like on Monday morning. So there is just one absolutely fundamental thing you need to remember about the use of preposition on for expressing time. We use on with days and dates. That's really this basic thing you have to remember. So let's now talk about at for a moment. At may be a bit complicated because it can be easily translated into Slovak. The most common translation include cez, na, and o. As you can see, we have at least 3 of them, and that doesn't make it any easier for us to learn. So the first use I'd like to talk about is when we use at with holiday periods, and when we use at with holiday periods, we can translate it as cez. So that we say at Christmas, we say at Easter, say at night, and we say at the weekend. So in all these cases, it can be translated as cez. We use at for expressing the exact time of the day, and in this case, it can be translated as o. So we have at 6 o'clock, at 8:30. At can be also translated sometimes as na, so we say at lunchtime, or at dawn. But there are also some exceptions too. For example, we say at midnight. And in Slovak it's o polnoci. Sorry for the mistake here. So as you could see from our discussion, the preposition at can be quite unpredictable. In most cases, it can be translated to Slovak as na, but I have to say that translations, they can be helpful, but we should use them wisely. Don't rely too much on translations because they can be unreliable and there are so many exceptions, and there are also a lot of untranslatables. So untranslatables means these are things that you can't just easily translate. So let me do a little summary here. So we use in for months, years, centuries, and parts of the day. We use on for all days and dates. That's really simple. We use on for all days and dates. And then we have at, and at is used for holiday periods and exact times. Now let's learn and let's use translation in the first stage of our learning. So all you have to do now is to tell for yourself an English translation. Let's start. In the morning, of course. It's a day, so we say on Monday. This is a day again, on Wednesday. This is a day, on Saturday. Let's add some more context here. First, simple sentences. I sleep. I sleep late. And now let's add a preposition of time. So how would you translate this? I sleep late in the morning. This one. I sleep late on Monday. Very good. I sleep late at the weekend. I sleep late at Easter. At Easter, well, that's not true. I sleep late on New Year's Day, because it's day here, New Year's Day. Okay, good. Couple more. This one is just a sentence. I get up. It's not late. I get up early. I get up early, and we have a time expression here, or time preposition of time here. So I get up early in the morning. I get up early on Saturday. I get up early at the weekend. It's time, so I get up at 6 a.m. I get up early on Monday morning. Monday is first, that's why we have to use on. Morning is second, so we use on because we have Monday here. This is easy. It's I have. Yeah. I have a lot of work at Christmas. Again, a lot of. Don't say a lot of, or a lot of, a lot of. Or if you want, you can open it even more and say a lot of, but don't say a lot of. A lot of work at Christmas. And of course, at Christmas, because Christmas is a holiday period, so we use at with Christmas. I have breakfast at 6 a.m. Well, that's too early. I have breakfast at the weekend. Weekend, we use always at with weekend. I have breakfast in the morning. Morning, it's a part of a day. We use in. I have dinner in the evening. Well, duh. We use in because we have evening. It's like a part of a day, like morning was. Evening, part of a day. And the last one, the simple sentence here. I go, of course. And now let's add some prepositions of time. I go to work on Monday. Very good. Yes, it's on because it's Monday. I go to work at 7 a.m. I go to work on Friday because it's Friday, like Monday. These are days. So we have to use on here. We have weekend, so I go to the theater at the weekend. Good. I go to church on Sunday, because it's a day, again, it's a day of a week, so on Sunday. Now, let's have a little conversation. We are going to add some more context, and we are going to add your context. We are going to personalize a little bit. So now what I want you to do is to answer what is true about yourself. Try to think about it for a moment and try to do it with some emotions as well. You know, so when you, for example, when you answer, I get up early in the morning, don't just say it without emotion. Don't just say it emotionlessly. Try to imagine, try to picture yourself in your warm bed and how hard it is to wake up in the morning. Don't just answer mechanically, and try to feel the meaning of what you're saying. Let's kick it off. So let's imagine we are having this conversation right now and you are answering me. So do you sleep late in the morning? And you'd say, I don't sleep late in the morning. I get up, next one will be, I get up at 6 in the morning. When do you get up in the morning? And you would say like, I wake up at, and put in your time there in the morning. So let's do it. Hopefully you understand how we are going to do it. Hopefully you get the idea how we are going to practice now. Let me ask you a couple of questions. I sleep late on New Year's Day. I would say that yes, I sleep late on New Year's Day. You know, the New Year's Day follows New Year's Eve, and on New Year's Eve we always have a party or something like that, so it will be quite hard to wake up early on New Year's Day. Tell me about you. Do you sleep late on New Year's Day? Okay. I suspect you sleep late on New Year's Day as well. I think you do. Many people do, I think. Okay, I get up early at the weekend. Yeah, that's true. I get up early at the weekend. Early, it means like at 6, for example. So I get up early at the weekend. Tell me, do you wake up early at the weekend? Okay, now let's talk about time. I get up at 6 a.m. every day. Yeah, roughly. I get up at 6. I get up at 6:20 sometimes. Sometimes I get up at 6:30. So it's different, but yeah, roughly at about 6. What about you? Do you get up at 6 every weekend? Oh, no, every weekend. Do you get up at 6 every day? Sorry, I made a mistake here. Do you get up at 6 a.m. every day? Now, the next question here is, do you have a lot of work at Christmas? Yeah, like at home, we have a little bit more work. So tell me about you. Do you have a lot of work at Christmas? Now, the next question, do you have breakfast in the morning? Because I don't have breakfast in the morning. Okay. Oh, theater. That's not my cup of tea. Do you go to the theater at the weekend? I have to say I don't go to the theater at the weekend. Theater is not my cup of tea. I don't go to the theater very often. I know there is a very good theater in Nitra and many people go there, many people love it. It's just not me. Call me a barbarian if you want, but no. At the weekend I go hiking, for example, but I don't go to the theater. Do you go to the theater at the weekend? Okay, and the last question is, do you go out on Fridays? I go out on Fridays. What about you? Do you go out on Fridays? And now we are going to listen to a story, so please listen and read the following story about me. And focus on its meaning, but also focus on how prepositions of time are used in it. Then we'll answer the comprehension questions. Now, let me tell you something about myself. So, I was born on Monday. I think it was on Monday morning, but I'm not entirely sure. But I can also say that I was born in the 20th century. I like the life in the 21st century better, I think. First of all, I'm older and I can enjoy more independence. But of course, if you want to be independent, you need some money. And to get it, you have to work. I work as a Slovak English trainer and translator. I usually get up at 6 or 7 in the morning. On Friday, I have to wake up at 5:45 because I have an early class. To be honest, I don't like waking up early in the morning. In the summer, it's not such a big problem as in the winter. I'm not usually at home in the afternoon. I come back home in the evening. I'm pretty busy during a week, so there's not much time left for free time activities. But we can do some hiking at the weekend. I don't live near my family, so we travel to see them to spend some time together at Christmas. At Easter, however, we stay at home or go on trips somewhere in Slovakia. Now, let's take a look at some questions, okay? Let's see how much you remember from the little narcissistic story about me. Question number 1, please answer. When was I born? On which day it means? On Monday is the correct answer, yes, on Monday. Question number 2, the second question. Which century was I born in? if you said in the 20th century, so you were right. It was in the 20th century. When do I usually get up in the morning? Yes, at 6 a.m. I usually get up at 6 a.m. Next question. When do I get up on Friday? Yes, I get up at 5:45 on Friday. At 5:45, at 5:45. Next question. Do I like to wake up early in the morning? No, I don't like to wake up early in the morning. Nobody likes to wake up early in the morning, I think. What do I do at the weekend? At the weekend, we go hiking. Next question. What do we do at Christmas? We visit our families at Christmas. And the last question. What do we do at Easter? Answer. We stay at home at Easter. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully you learned something new about prepositions of time, or maybe you just you reinforced your knowledge on prepositions of time. My name is Marian from Language Studio Euphema. It's been a pleasure, and see you next time. Bye-bye.